Who's ready for another unboxing video? Well, more like an unbagging video. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're brand new to fishing or just looking for some tips, tricks, reviews, how-tos, or even an unboxing or two, you've come to the right spot. In this episode of Fishing with Gramps, hey look, we've actually got some sunshine. I didn't even have to turn the studio lights on. I got sun coming in all over the place. That's right, winter's finally starting to break. The lakes are thawing out. Water's still cold. I actually pulled the kayak out this week when I had a 60-degree day after work. Water temps was in the low 40s. Fished for a few hours. Didn't get a single nibbler bite, but boy, it sure felt good to stretch the legs in the kayak. I'm guessing we're about a month away from fishing really heating up here in southern Indiana, and I, for one, and I know many of you are really looking forward to getting back out there on the water, chasing them green and brown beauties. That being said, it's still dropping in the upper 20s every night, but the higher the high temps are during the day, the more that water will warm up eventually. We'll get there sooner or later. I'm still gearing up for the season, and as most of you know, I'm all about value. Now, many of you know I don't get into the whole lucky monster mystery box bag things. That's just me. I'm an experienced angler, so if I'm going to buy a bundle of something, I want to know what's in it. And so far, you've seen me pick up bundles from Shop Carl's, Guggen Squad, 6 Cents, and now I'm trying something new from Monster Bass. Why? Because, man, they've got some pretty decent deals on the bundles that's on their site. I saw a video recently where Rick from Monster Bass posted up a thing. If you join their VIP text club, you can get special deals throughout the week where you can save a lot of money. And, man, he wasn't kidding. I've taken advantage of 2 of those deals so far, and that's what we're looking at today. Recently, Rick had a video where he talked about tungsten weight and how there's only so many bait makers that make the tungsten weight, and therefore they control the prices of the tungsten. And he's right. There's only so many different places that you can get tungsten from, and that stuff is really expensive. But he has a bundle on MONSTERBASS.com and offered, I think it was a 20% discount code through his VIP texting thing, and I couldn't not try it out. I mean, a $40 bundle of tungsten at 20% off, and there's a lot of different weights in here. So let's hop over to the table and take a look at what all comes in this bundle. Look at all this sunshine just shining in the man cave. I love this. Now, does everybody need the big bundle of tungsten? Well, I'll say this. If you don't have any yet, this is actually a really good deal, and it gives you a wide variety of weights to try out. Therefore, you can figure out throughout the season which ones you like the most, then individually refill those throughout the year if you break off, lose them, or whatever. But I mean, that's a really good price for all of those pieces for what you get. It's actually pretty amazing. I'm impressed with that, and I love how they follow along with a lot of other people do, putting the actual weight sizes on there so you know, because then if you develop a pattern of what weights you use the most, you kind of keep notes as you go along throughout the season. And I always recommend that when you get home, write down what you had success with and start keeping a log. Or even better, go download the Angler app, add it to your phone, and then track all of your rods, reels, tackle, fish catches, and everything in there. And over time, you're going to develop a pattern of what you catch fish with where you live, so that every year it gets a little bit better. Because if you have patterns to follow, that'll just improve your chances of you catching fish, or when you go out with your buddies, taking them of what they might have a better chance of catching their very first fish on. But I highly recommend keeping a log of everything you do. I started late last year using the Angler app, and then I got the Bluetooth button, which I'll do a review on when we start fishing again, and talk about how I plan on keeping a good log of my fish catches and things like that, so that when I make future videos, I can share that information out to other people who might be fishing in areas where I fish, and give them a head start so they don't have to go and learn a lake the hard way, you know, the first time they visit. Now, I was really impressed with the Tungsten bundle. I mean, in the price that you got it at, saving the 20% like that off of an already cheap price. I mean, that's crazy for me. Tungsten is really expensive, but they're smaller bullet weights compared to their lead counterparts, and they really hold up and last longer. Now, this next one, and I've actually gotten several texts with some great deals, and there was another one that I missed where it was like a 2-for-1 kind of thing that I got caught up at work, and then I forgot to come home, and then the window was over. But either way, this next one was a savings that's almost insane. So if you follow the channel, you know I'm trying out new baits and whatnot this year. Googing stuff in my boat, and then a lot of the 6-cent stuff in the kayak. But one of the things I've thrown forever was Strike King products. And Monster Bass has a lot of Strike King products on there. And so I got a text saying, hey, there's a Strike King bundle that I think they have listed out. It's like $78. Those are the prices they pulled from Tackle Warehouse for each of the baits. And it was like a 35 or 40% discount. I'm like, what? I think they took $35 off of the $78 bundle, and this is it. So let's take a look at what's in this bundle from Strike King. I mean, we all know Strike King, KVD, Andy Montgomery, you know, Zona, all of these bass pros that have thrown Strike King forever, and I have always been a solid Strike King fan. I mean, back in my tournament days, Strike King was pretty much all I ever threw. Combination of Strike King and Berkeley power baits. Those were my staples of what I grew up on fishing. So when Rick put together this Monster Bass bundle of Strike King products and then basically offered it for 45% off, that's insane. Be sure to get over to Monster Bass and join their VIP text club. It doesn't cost anything, and I'm all about value. But let's take a look of what I got in this bundle. It's crazy. Now, the first thing in the bundle is a Sugar Buzz Buzz Bait. And I love this thing because it's hinged. And, man, when you throw them through the water, I've actually got one of these that I had from, you know, fishing from last year. But it's a hinged buzz bait, and the squeak on it is perfect. But, man, this thing flat catches some fish. I could go through and read all the prices for all this and that, but you can find that on... He posted it all out on the Monster Bass website, but... I don't care. I mean, you can't get this amount of stuff for what I paid for it. So, the first one's a Sugar Buzz Buzz Bait. Freaking awesome. Next in the package is a 70-yard spool of tour grade 15-pound fluorocarbon. Be good if you put some, if you've got a bigger spool, you throw some braid on it for backing and then put this on top of it, which is what a lot of people do. Saves money in the long run because fluorocarbon's pretty expensive. Next, we got a 3XD deep diving crankbait. Goes down to, I think, 10 to 12 feet. And this is in the sexy shad color. Pretty sweet. So this is a good range box. I mean, it actually covers a wide range of baits. Let's see what else we got. Next, we got a 5XD. Dives down to 15 feet in sexy shad. A little bit bigger, but man, this would be good for popping along those ledges and creek channels. Next, we got this Series 4. They call it a green tomato. I think this one dives down to 5 to 8 feet. Got that chartreuse on the bottom and that red and black on the top. Badass. That is a sweet looking crankbait. I'm not a big crankbait throwing dude, but man, these are awesome. Next, we got a flat side square bill crankbait. Look at that deep red. This is the KVD 1.5. It dives down about 8 feet. But man, early spring, that red, oh, that's going to tear them up. Man, look at that one. That's a square bill that dives down to 1.5 feet. They call it that phantom red crawl. Then we got a red eye shad lipless crankbait. The green gizzard color. That thing is sweet. This bundle, I mean, is a perfect. If you didn't have any baits and we're just getting into bass fishing, this thing has got you covered almost from top to bottom. And what's a bait bundle without a thunder cricket? The Strike King version of the chatterbait. This one's a green pumpkin, very nice. Then we got a bag of the Ned Ochos in blue and black flick, I think it is. Perfect for throwing weightless or on a Ned rig. And then we got a bag of the regular Ochos, which these are the Strike King version of the Senkos, or, you know, stick baits.
Hello folks, I'm Steve Parks, Ragetail Strike King, and I want to give you a little bit of inside scoop on why an Ocho has such great action on the fall. All of us know that this Ocho has squared off edges on the side, and you can see how they're just, it has all of these different angles on the sides. It's not perfectly round. And what happens is when we slide a hook through here, especially when it's on the fall perpendicular, what's happening is as it falls through the water, there's no way that the water will guarantee that that bait will not turn, and when it hits these edges, it causes these edges to move faster than it would on a perfectly round bait. So when it causes the action to move quicker, the faster it starts moving, the more it starts moving. So actually these little edges that are on this Ocho itself cause it to move faster. Instead of going 6 inches down before it starts moving, it starts moving immediately.
Green pumpkin, another perfect for, you know, for beginning bass angler. I mean, everything is in this bag. And last but not least, some Rage swimmers. Again, perfect for this time of year. And these, look at the color of these things. I mean, that pearl white is perfect. Honestly, the only thing in this bag that you could add to it to make it the perfect beginner bass fishing bundle is throw in a couple of Strike King jigs. I mean, and you would be set with everything you need. You could literally grab some hooks, throw this line on a single bait cast or spinning rod, take this bag that the tungsten weights came in, and you can throw all of this stuff in here with a pack of hooks and go catch some fish. A single spinning rod, which is the rod that I recommend for any beginning bass angler. If you've never fished a lot and you don't understand bait casters and all of that, a single. And you can go to any of your local mart stores or sporting goods stores and find a combo that's fairly inexpensive. 60, 70 buck combo, medium to medium heavy rod with the spinning reel and catch some bass. But I'm going to take this bundle out, and the only thing I'm going to add to it is probably a couple Strike King jigs from my local Walmart. And we're going to take this out when the weather warms up, and we're going to fish everything in this bundle just like it is and see how many bass we can catch on it. It might be in my boat, might be in the kayak, I don't know. But I guarantee you, for the value that you get with this, you're going to catch some bass. Now, would I recommend this particular bundle for beginning bass anglers from the bank? With the crankbaits, I'm not quite sure. If you've got someplace you can go where you can stand on some boat docks and fish along the shore, then you'll probably do pretty well. If you're like at a pond or someplace like that where you kind of can't get out on the water, I don't really recommend crankbaits that much. The rest of the stuff, yes, the soft plastics, jigs, the buzz bait, for sure. Crankbaits, those are baits that I more tend to recommend to you can get on the water if you've got a kayak or a john boat or even some boat docks that you can walk out on and fish from, where, and a lot of your state parks will have that, where they'll have like big fishing decks where you can kind of walk out over on top of the water, and that way you can cast these along the bank and bring them back in a little bit deeper water. Other than that, I really don't recommend a lot of throwing crankbaits from the bank because it dives down and you're actually dealing with a bank that comes back up to you, and you're basically going to be banging that crankbait along the bottom, getting shallower as you go. If you can get out where you can cast from a boat to the bank coming back, where it goes from shallow to deep, or like I said, from a boat dock or fishing pier where you can throw it across and stay at a level kind of that way, I would do that a little bit more. But that's a lot of good baits for a little bit of money in a bundle like this. So have you used Monster Bass before? There's a lot of good anglers from a lot of these different sites that sell these baits, and they're all fun to watch, especially on YouTube. Everybody's got kind of their own pro staff, and I'm not about anybody in particular's pro staff. I enjoy all the anglers who go out and show us all how these baits work and catch a lot of fish with them. But again, I'm not part of their pro staff because I'm not trying to sell you baits. I'm a consumer just like you, and I spend my money on stuff like this so I can do videos on it and bring the results back to you, and you can make your own educated decision whether or not you find value in stuff like this. Drop me a comment down below. Do you use Monster Bass for stuff? Do you like the various bundles and boxes and things like that? Tell me what your experiences are. Until next time, go outside what you can. Make some memories. They last a lifetime.